Anytime the Arewa, the Northerners, anytime they are not in power, especially at the center, they start inciting religious extremism and conflict all over the country. I repeat, anytime you see the Northerners are not in power, now that Tinubu is in power, the Northerners is not in power. Anytime, even during Obasanjo, during Jonathan, they start inciting religious extremism and conflict all over the country. Take for instance, under Obasanjo, they started Sharia. And this Sharia they started led to the killings of thousands of people. Go and confirm from history. They will just start one conflict or the other and make sure that they, according to Buhari, they will make the government of the Southerner, whether the person is Jonathan, Obasanjo or Tinubu, they want to make the government ungovernable. But at this point in time, it will not work. The Middle Beltans have woken up. The Hausas have woken up. They have seen them for who they are. That's why the Middle Belt are saying that we are not part of Arewa. There's this argument. We are not part of Arewa. Middle Belt is Middle Belt. The core north is the core north. When you look at the map, you see how they divided it. They have started this argument a long time ago. So watch the video and we'll be right back for much more analysis on this particular issue.
After World War II, about 47% of this old northern region was inhabited by the Muslim Fulani Hausa and Kanuri combination.
Thank you.
In the remaining 53% of the other tribal areas, different forms of nature worship predominated. Among these tribes, there were many conversions to Christianity, but even today, there are very few Christians among the Hausa Fulanis.
Yes. Stop there, please.
Yes.
Open at page 89. 87, we have established that the Hausa Fulani and Kanuri combination only had 47% of the total land mass. The remaining 53 belong to the rest. So we are going. Open to page 89.
Yes.
The second paragraph, where they say the peoples of the Middle Belt.
Sorry?
89.
Yes.
The peoples of the Middle Belt. Start from there. Just that paragraph.
Yes, the peoples of the Middle Belt, both north and south of the rivers Niger and Benue,
yes,
consist of a number of tribes of different ethnic groups speaking quite different languages.
Thank you. Just stop there.
Yes.
So you will agree with me in one, from this book, not your opinion, that as at Second World War II, the land of the Hausa Fulani and Kanuri combination was only 43%.
I don't agree with you.
No, from this text.
I don't agree with
not
you.
Your opinion, sir. From this text.
I don't agree with it.
You will also agree with me that this man agrees with Sir Ahmadu Bello that the people of the Middle Belt are both north and south of rivers Niger and Benue at page 89. Is that true?
It is not totally true.
No, Sir Ahmadu Bello had already said it. This man is also confirming. Is it true or false, sir? From this, not your opinion.
Yes, common sense.
Thank you.
I would like to answer you, but since we are searching the truth, you see, we are not talking about geographical expression only. You are talking also of political expression. And you cannot assume that there is that convergence in making it so simplistic,
don't worry,
as if that is the true history.
Now when you look at it, political convenience, geographical convenience. So all the things that were created during that time, they were for political convenience, politically to benefit the Hausa Fulani. Now that the Hausa Fulani, their eyes have opened, the Hausa are kicking back. Politically, the Fulani used their influence, used their position with their various head of state and created all these Middle Belt and South-South. If you are saying there's no Middle Belt, what about South-South? Is there anything like South-South? Everything is a political creation for the benefit of some persons, of some agenda. You see how the northern people killed Yoruba leaders because they had an agenda. They never want them to hold on to a certain level or amount of power, quality of power. That's why you see Abiola, Delegiwa, and the rest were gone. You see how Dikwa was begging Abacha for a coup that even Buhari The Northerners have had history of them carrying out coup. None of them is facing what the Southerner will face. Because of the 1967 coup carried by Uzogu, the Northerners took it upon themselves so that they would deal with the Southeasterners. They started killing until it led to the Nigerian Civil War, whereby they used the Middle Belters to kill Igbos during the war. It is all about a political creation that will favor the Fulani. So the Middle Belters, their eyes have opened now. Okay, under Jonathan, bombings and beheadings started all over the core north in the name of religious extremism. I talked about Buhari, but now look at under Jonathan, bombings and beheadings started all over the core north in the name of religious extremism. You know one thing I like Tinubu about? Tinubu has studied all these people, have studied what they have done in the past, and he made sure that even the end bad governance protests, everybody say we are coming to vote, although the Igbos have said that they are not going to be part, they are not going to be part of whatever that is going on. You understand the handwriting? Everybody have the agenda, but the North took it upon themselves to say that they must protest, they must end this government, because they don't find it easy. They are not comfortable when a Southerner is in power. They didn't protest during Buhari's regime, despite the fact that Buhari destroyed the economy. They said protest is haram, protest is this, protest is that. But now, under Tinubu, all of a sudden within 1 year, they are saying let's protest. No more protest is haram. You can see the hypocrisy of these Northerners. Anytime a Southerner becomes president, they stir up religious extremism and conflict here and there. Less than 2 years of Tinubu's presidency, they have started inciting religious extremism and radicalism all over Nigeria, especially the southwest, most importantly Lagos State, which is the base of the president. You see, some people in the south, some religious fanatics, Yorubas in the southwest, are being used to incite some of these little religious conflicts. That's how it may escalate to something else. We already know that there's already a conflict somehow between the Yoruba and Igbo. Igbo must go and everything. It somehow died down and it stayed on Twitter. They have started with another incitement that will, what about religious conflict, especially Christian and Islam. Nobody is doing that in the north. They know that in the north is not going to work. Everybody understands the kind of people they are. But they really, in Lagos, in the southwest, want to make sure that there's a conflict. These Northerners, they find a way. Look at what is happening on Twitter. Look at what's happening. All of a sudden, people just put out banners to provoke another religion. That this December, they are celebrating the birth of the Lord Jesus Christ. The Christians see Jesus as God, Jesus Christ as God. But all they needed to do was just to put out the banner and say Jesus Christ is not God. Stirring religious conflict and extremism. We know them, and we know that is how they roll. There is a diabolical agenda. I repeat, there's a diabolical agenda. Let the Southwest Yoruba Muslims, let them not fall, because we know that they are peaceful people. They should not be used by these Northerners. When you look at the north, far north, the kind of Islam they practice will never bring development to their region. You see, the tax bill was meant that everybody will look inwards and be creative. But the North now knows that the Southwest is stable and is developed more than anything. And one of the reasons why their region, the northern region, is not stable is because of the conflict and religious extremism. The kind of things they apply in that region. Sharia has made that place undevelopable, if there's a word like that. The killings, the banditry, the destruction is as a result of the kind of Islam they practice in the north. And they have seen, okay, if we can import this thing to the southwest, then it will be okay for us. My brother, thank God for Nnamdi Kanu and the Biafra movement. The eyes of everybody from every region is opening to the atrocities and the agenda of the Fulani. If Middle Belt say they're not part and parcel of the north, so be it. Everything is a political creation for geographical and economic reasons. Everything is a political creation. So these people politically can come together and say that they are not going to be part. What they need is to legislate it. But first, there should be a consciousness. People should agree. There should be a quorum whereby people in the middle belt, majority of them come together and agree that they don't want to be part of the North in soul, spirit, and body. So when the opportunity offers itself, that they will legislate it and say the middle belt, oh, we are not part of the North, then it will be a force to reckon with. Let them start with the elections. Now, the North will no more say that we have a voting bloc and everything. They cannot say it anymore because they know that the middle belt has enough of votes that can divide the North. The last election, the middle belt got more than 3 to 4 million votes. For 4 million votes. One of the places that P2P got his votes was in the middle belt. So if the North is boasting of how many voters, millions, number of voters and everything, they would realize that in the next election, they are nothing. They are not a voting bloc with all their manipulations of numbers and everything, with all their voter malpractice and everything. They will know that if the middle belt stand up today and said, okay, we all have our own voting bloc and we are using it to negotiate, that we are not part of the North. If the North cannot vote somebody else, let the middle belt all join together and vote somebody else. You know that according to that video, the Kanuri, the Hausa Fulani made 47% of the entire North, while the rest were in middle belt. So they are not in the majority at any given point. Even the Fulani themselves, the Hausa are not in the same boat with them. And it is a very, very big problem for these guys. I don't know what is their problem. We have said it. Thank God for Nnamdi Kanu and thank God for the consciousness awakening that he has brought not only to the Igbos. The Igbos already have a mind of their own. They know that this is what these guys are doing. That's why they not decided to deal with the Igbos politically by having an alliance with the South. Yeah, giving the South a lot of things to benefit, despite the fact that they killed their leaders, despite the fact that they did many things to their leaders. So they align with the South and things are happening. No development as it were, as it is supposed to be. Join their hands, never allow Igbo rule again. That is a conspiracy theory. Naira, never allow Igbo rule again. So we know that their plan, because Igbo have said no. Creation of Biafra, these guys will not be allowed anywhere inch, because we have read their history, and history we have read. If it's going to repeat itself, it can repeat itself with the Hausas, because I know those ones, they are too soft-hearted. They can't stand. They don't have the mind of their own to stand. They don't have the boldness to withstand the Fulani. See, there are two people I fear, I'm afraid of. Number one, Tinubu, and number two, the Fulani. For people who is looking at Tinubu and how he, through the elections, he was doing as if his hand was shaking. And I was looking at this. I was looking at him during the elections. I said, this man is deceiving all these guys. Oh. He was shaking and everything. He was not feeling fine. How he was able to deceive the North. And he got his power. Buhari was not in support of him. It showed. His body language revealed so many things. He was not in support of Tinubu. Another people that I fear the most are Fulanis. Don't allow Fulani put a leg, a foundation in your community. Don't allow them, because as it is now in Nigeria, anywhere they stamp their foot, it will be difficult. It will take a lot of revolution, a lot of bloodletting for them to leave. I thank God for how the Igbos have been able to fight with their lives to fend them off the villages, the bush parts. They are still there. Look at what's happening, I think, in Oyo State, whereby a Fulani, it's a viral video, a farmer was beating up a Fulani. We have told you, don't come to this land. Don't come to this land. Everybody's getting to know who they are. Everybody, their eyes have opened. They are getting to know the kind of persons they are. But just don't allow them have a foothold in your community, because if they have a foothold, they are going to destroy and scatter so many things. Now, they have used another tactic. I don't know what they want to achieve. Leave the Southwest Muslims to practice their kind of religion. Their kind of religion brought development to the Southwest. You can see how everywhere is flourishing. Dirty December, people are trooping into Lagos for their December. People are trooping. it will be odd for you to bring all those religious extremism conflict about Christians and Muslims. And one thing about enmity, if you plant enmity between the Christians and Muslims of the South, it may take God's grace for them to resolve any of these issues. They know that if they succeed in planting enmity between the Southwest Muslim and the Southwest Christian, like what is happening in the North, and you know that extremism is not a thing of the Yorubas. Extremism is not a thing of the Yorubas. The only people you see that are extremists or that are fanatics, you see them at the side of Ilorin. Even in Lagos State, those that are violent, that are prone to violence, are from Yoruba Muslims. Look at the MCO Lomos, look at every junction, every bus stop. Most of them are Muslims. They are prone to violence. The Christians are easygoing people, they are liberal. We have another kind of terrorist group, which is the Yoruba conservatives. That one is a different thing. But trying to put an asunder between the Yorubas using religion. In a family, we can have 10 different religions in a Yoruba family, which cannot happen, which is very hard for you to come by in any other southern. I'm not talking of North. It's very hard for you to see an Igbo family. The father is Muslim, the mother is Christian. It's very hard. An Igbo family, very, very hard, extremely hard. Now the child is an atheist. The other one is you can see a Christian and a traditional ruler, a traditionalist in an Igbo family. You can see, but you cannot see. I want somebody to dare show me father Christian, mother Muslim, child traditional ruler, the other one atheist, the other one Buddhist. You can only find that in a Yoruba family. They can accommodate and tolerate like that. That is why you see there is prosperity. Anywhere you see tolerance, there's always prosperity, and that is the Southwest. I will not say what I don't know. But for the Biafran people, we don't need to tolerate the Fulani, all these Islamic fundamentalists and fundamentalists and everything. If let them appoint Igbos as the head of whatever, head of the mosque and everything, that will not concern anybody. We are not interested. We have known the agenda, and the agenda will not agenda. Let's look at this write-up. This write-up, it says, Arewa is already in flames due to religious extremism and radicalism. Therefore, they cannot burn an already burnt grass. That means their area is in flames already. So they cannot set fire to an already burnt place. The only place where they burn is Yoruba land, which has millions of Muslims. So they are focusing on Yoruba land, which has millions of Muslims. See, he noted some people. Somebody called Idris on Twitter. He said Idris is a Yoruba person. He's not preaching Islam, but political Islam. Political Islam. You remember when I said political convenience, economic convenience? You are creating middle belt because of political convenience to suit your agenda. You divided the whole of Southeast region and say one is South-South to suit your agenda. To further divide the Southeast, that they cannot come together and have a voting bloc and have a unification that can shake the whole of the South. But instead, you decided to divide them and say South-South is. I'm not saying South-South is what is meaning of South-South. You can create South-North. You can create South-North. So far, it is for your political convenience and economic convenience. It's a creation, a political creation. You can create anything. It's allowed. But originally, when you look at the Nigerian map, there are some places. Kwara should not be part of the North. Should be part of the Southwest. But for political convenience, they did what they did. So, Idris is not preaching Islam, but political Islam. They are different things altogether. He says, I am also warning Yoruba Christians to be tactical and careful so as not to fall into the trap of these guys. That is a Yoruba man talking. They want you to attack Islam so that they can get our people riled up, fired up against each other and start bloodshed in the Southwest. Everything is all political, and we need to watch out and isolate the few extremists in our ranks. He's talking about the extremists in the Southwest that are pushing for these guys to bring up all these things. Imagine taking AI, you bring in, use Adeboye, Pastor E.A. Adeboye, and put hijab on him and say, may Allah guide you. Imagine what an insult. You've started with another. Okay, they said that the first banner they put there, We are sorry, we are sorry, we are sorry. They put another one surfaced. We are sorry, we are sorry. They brought on that one. That tells you that is an agenda. Saying I'm sorry for the thing you did, and you repeated it again, it shows it's an agenda. Everything is all political. We need to watch out and isolate the few extremists in our ranks. They will all die a natural death once they cannot get sympathy from our people. They are sponsored and intentional in this agenda. I've said it. The North have an agenda. The Southwest, open your eyes. They said that they have something in common with the West, which is Islam. And they are using that thing in common to put division amongst the Southwesterners. They cannot come to the South-South or the Southeast because there's nothing we have in common with them. And they know already. So they dare not bring their bag and baggages to the Southeast. Because how would they enter? What would they say? What would they say? If they want to say anything, they will just say Southern, Southern, Southern. They cannot come directly to the Southeast. There's no ties we have with them. There's nothing. We don't share any common thing. Politically, religiously, there's nothing common. Various times that they have appointed the imam, this imam, that imam, they have done so for their own. They are on their own. It doesn't even concern the Igbo people. It is inconsequential. It doesn't even concern the Igbo people. Trying to bring IDP camps, we rejected it. Ozubo, we did unzobu. Anything that has the particles of this Fulani fundamentalists, if they let them wrap it with Hausa ingenuity and Middle Belt whatever, we are going to reject it. So there's nothing they have on us, the Southeast and the South. The few Igbos that are Muslims, they can go to the North and start practicing their Muslim. Because this thing happening in the Southwest today, we have seen it a long time ago, and we have seen the result of it. If we had ties with the North, it would have been a worse thing. Because those Northerners are willing to enter the South any which way. Any which way. They are desperate to enter the Southeast. And thank God we don't have alliance, or we don't have any affiliation with them. They have affiliation with the Middle Belters because some of them are Muslims. That's why I see the killings about killings. We cannot just stay in the Southeast and we see Fulani kill 100 or Benny, Koleshele. In the Southeast, Fulani kill 100, like they are killing in Benue, because they have this something in common with like religion and politics in common. So they can use those avenues and enter them and use their Buhari as president, cause small havoc. You know, in the Southwest, there's another thing that is funny. An Hausa person or a Fulani person, whoever, a Northerner, you people might commit same crime, but the Northerner might not sleep in the cell. But you will go for it, you go to court, they sentence you. If you have an issue with a Northerner hits you or does something to you, and you take the Northerner to the police station, the Northerner might not stay there 6 hours. You might even be arrested. If you have an issue with a Northerner and they take you to the police station, the Northerner has a better chance to come out than you. That is the reality, all we see in Nigeria today. And somebody is telling me that let's preach unity, let's preach oneness. The Fulani needs to be out of the political space, the economic space of Nigeria for that oneness to be preached. We need to jettison all this extremism, whether religious, Christian religious, Islamic religious extremism, before we achieve such. If not, these politicians you are seeing, they are not on the same page with you. They are running a system whereby they can oppress you, and as you are oppressed, they use you and they chop on you. You are their table. That is what they are after. So who is the person that is preaching unity? If it is the politician that is preaching unity, he's just deceiving Nigerians and deceiving himself and those that are following him. You can't preach unity when you know the actual problems and you don't deal with the actual problems. You cannot come and preach unity with anybody. History is here. We've said it before. Anytime the Northerners are not in power, they always cause crisis, they always cause problem, one problem or the other, to destabilize the government of the Southerners. Nothing more than that.